Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So if you watched my last video, it was on the inspired by Gibson Epiphone. It was a hummingbird. It was not a good guitar. Here is the guitar that I hold very dear and close to my heart. It was my father's guitar. It's from the 60s. I'm not sure exactly what year. It's had a plethora of work done to it, as working musicians will often have done to their acoustic instruments over time. That's close enough. So I'm going to go through these four guitars, and I'm going to play a G chord, first position, all in first position. Really simple, straightforward. And I'm going to scoot up towards the mic a little bit better so you can hear it. And I'll strum, and then I'll pick, strum, pick, strum, pick. G, D, and E chords on all of these. And they should all be tuned up, or at least they were tuned up before I started shooting this video. So I wanted to talk about maybe some possible alternatives. I discovered an alternative that I completely forgotten about, and we'll get to that soon. But before we get there, let's start off with the, we'll call it 60s hummingbird. Alright, so next up we have a Norman ST50. If I understand it, this is one of the top of the line. It's a solid Sitka spruce top. It's got a solid maple back and sides. Just real quick, I want to show you how pretty this is. That is quite a stunning back. This has the LR Baggs Anthem pickup, so it's got the dual pickup system. Comes with a strap lock. These are made in Canada, you know, our good friends north of us. So again, I'm going to move up slightly. This has the, I should mention quickly, this guitar and another guitar, the other guitar you'll see after this, have the original stock strings from the company. They have not been changed out, so don't hold that against it. So here we go. Okay, so again, it's a full-size dreadnought, solid Sitka spruce top, solid flamed maple back and sides. It's incidentally got a maple neck and a rosewood fingerboard, whereas the Gibson has a mahogany neck with a rosewood fingerboard. Here is a Takamine This is the EF508C. That was the EF508C. This is a Japanese-made acoustic guitar. It's a solid mahogany top, solid mahogany back and sides, with a solid mahogany neck. And this pickup system is the Graphex preamp. It's by Takamine. It's not a particularly good sounding preamp system. Sorry, Takamine. And an interesting point of fact, both the Gibson and the Takamine have the Diodario coated acoustic strings. I forget what exactly they're called. This guitar has been sitting in a case for a very long time, and only recently have I pulled it out to begin to play it more. The truss rod is maxed out on the neck, and the bridge cannot go down any lower than it already has been taken down. So this is as good as this guitar is going to get. The action is slightly, I mean, you know, not even 1 millimeter higher than the Gibson, but you feel it. You really do feel it. And the nut width is a little bit narrower on the Takamine than the Gibson. Alright, so far we've looked at a Gibson Hummingbird from the 60s. We've looked at a brand new Norman ST50. We've looked at a, I would say, early 2000s Takamine. What is this? What did I say it was? This is the Takamine EF508C. So this is the Takamine EF508C. Again, that's a Japanese-made guitar. So we have an American-made guitar, we have a Canadian-made guitar, and now we have a Japanese-made guitar. And our last guitar, which is the guitar that got me all excited, is it's another Norman. This is the ST40. Now, this also has an LR Baggs pickup system in it. This does not have the Anthem. I forget what they call it. It's one with just the undersaddle pickup. If you notice on all these Normans, they have a strap lock end here. They have a very nice antiqued butterbean style tuners with a very nice antique look on the front. Also, if you look down here to the input jack, that's even kind of an antiqued color. This is a solid Sitka spruce top. This is a AA Sitka spruce top. Beautiful grain on this, and a very, very fine mahogany on the back here. Now, I believe that the other Norman was either 14 or 1500 new. This is, I think, $100 to $200 less. So again, we will start off with the same chords. This is the Norman ST40. And if you don't know about Norman guitars, they're under the same umbrella that you would find the Godin Company or the Godin Company, however you want to pronounce that. They're also, I think, affiliated with the Simon & Patrick Art Lutherie or Luthier, those guitars, the Seagull guitars. But the Normans are kind of the, in my opinion, the unsung hero. So here we are again. And remember, these are the strings that the guitar came with, so not the best. And I think another point to make here is, depending on application, volume may or may not be a concern of yours, but volume does not equal tone. Please try to remember that. I am just doing a very basic comparison here. Very, very basic comparison. If I'm not mistaken, to get a Gibson Hummingbird of this level, I think they're $5,500. Don't quote me on that. It is 2023, so prices have gone completely ludicrous. If you thought they were bad before, now they are completely unrealistic. But again, this is an old Gibson Hummingbird. It's a family heirloom. It's treasured by me, and when I'm gone, it will go to another member of my family. So let's just revisit that quickly. I'm also using Chris Thiele. I guess it's Kaysen 1.40 millimeter pick. Similar to a blue chip, a little brighter. I don't have any blue chips at the moment. I keep giving them away to students. It's an expensive thing to give away. So here's the Norman ST50. And I'll switch it up a little bit. I'll play the other Norman now, which is the ST40. Biggest difference, they both have the Sitka spruce tops. The ST50 has a solid maple back and sides. The ST40 has a solid mahogany back and sides. So you're going to get a difference there in your EQ curve. And finally, that brings us back to the Takamine. And the Takamine, again, is a Japanese-made EF508C. I don't even know if they make this exact model anymore. At one point in time, these were as inexpensive as $1,400. I have seen them in the past well over $2,000. You know, you be the judge if you want to spend that much money on a guitar. So here we go. Takamine EF508C. Okay, so acoustic instruments are something I've always had a passion for. I just haven't done much, if anything, with them on this channel. I have some Alvarez Masterwork series guitars coming. I can't afford the Alvarez Yaris, which is a real shame because growing up, I had 3 guitars at my disposal to learn on. I had my father's Gibson Hummingbird, and I had 2 original Alvarez Yaris. One was an exact copy of a D28 herringbone, which was a glorious guitar, and the other one was also an Alvarez Yari, and it was a copy of a D28 herringbone with a cutaway not much dissimilar to the style that we see here on this Norman ST40. So please, you know, in the comments below, leave your thoughts. Again, I didn't put this in my last video about the Epiphone, but after receiving such a poorly constructed instrument, I made it my mission to go out into the area, and I visited 3 different stores that carried those Epiphones. I went to Guitar Center, and they had 2 of them, and neither was playable. In fact, the one had a crack, a very noticeable crack in the top, and the bridge was lifting, and the pickguard was lifting. I pointed it out to one of the salespersons, and they said, "Oh yeah, we know." And the other one sounded like a cardboard box with rubber bands for strings. Then I went to another store, Music and Arts, that did not have any of the inspired by Gibsons. However, they did have many Epiphone acoustics, all of which were riddled with problems. Just horrible, unplayable instruments. Made me kind of frustrated for students and younger people that maybe don't know any better and only know how to play the G, D, or E chords. Because typically, if that's all you're playing on a guitar and they sound okay, you're not going to know any better. But I found that typically once you got past the 7th, 8th, or 10th frets on most acoustic guitars in these shops, within the $500 to $1,000 price range, they were unplayable. The 3rd location I went to, I'm not going to bash this company by putting their name on here, mainly because of what they did. I went in and they had the full line of inspired by Gibson Epiphones. And I played through everything they had on the floor. And then they were kind enough to pull out everything that they had in the back. And with the manager on duty, she and I proceeded to play through the entirety of their stock. And she came to the realization that the instruments were so bad that she immediately pulled them from the floor and started packaging them up. I don't know if they're going to get their money back or how that's going to work, but when the cost of repair far exceeds the cost of the what are you going to do? So that's my little one telling me it's time to go. So thanks for stopping by. And remember to be kind to your neighbors, unlike the little one here. Y'all take care.